Okay, so we're out and about. Ooh, I should, it's, as you can tell, the lighting's a little bit different. We are doing this in the afternoon because I had stuff I needed to do this morning. So it is about 5:40 on September 15th. And for those of you who are keeping score, September 15th, 1993 is when I graduated basic training. So, yeah, this is an important day for me. Oh, somebody still camping over there. But yeah, I'm not on any pedal assist. Oops. There we go. Sorry, I had to reset the odometer or the tripometer. Apparently I forgot to do that earlier. So I'm already a couple miles into the ride. Sun's about to go behind some clouds. So it'll get a little darker, but we still got an hour and a half, 2 hours of sunlight left. And it shouldn't take that long. But yeah, I'm just out here doing, getting a bike ride in because I didn't this morning. Went to an industry trade show yesterday. Bought a few things that were, well, let's just say I spent too much money, but the amount of money I saved is considerable. Oops. I'm gonna squeeze past you real quick. Excuse me. Oops. That might have been a homeless dude. I'm not 100% sure. Which is fine. Again, I don't have a problem with homeless people. As long as they're not aggressive or anything. Whew. So yeah, sorry, I don't have it in pedal assist mode, so everything I'm doing, everything I've been doing is all just me manhandling this bike around. But yeah. Sorry, it's still an 80-pound bike. Still feels like an 80-pound bike. But yeah, I didn't ride yesterday. That's a new noise. I didn't ride yesterday at all because I had so where I'm staying, I'm on the 3rd floor. And they have elevators. This bike is too large for the elevators. I cannot fit it in. But I have a trailer, and they let me put the trailer on the property, so I just, oh man, I'm gonna have to, oops, excuse me. So I'm gonna have to pull this mask up, because there, oh my gosh, there's so many bugs. So many. I was worried about this. My God, I can feel them crawling into my hair. But I store my my bike in the trailer, and I get it, you know, and I put it in and out every day. But somebody had parked so close to my trailer Saturday night that I didn't have enough room to open the door and get the bike out. And apparently they were hungover or something because they didn't come out all day. So I had other things I needed to do. Specifically, my friend, the one who lost her job last week, wanted to go to the Rock and Gym show, which is fine. I'd already gone 2 days, but she wanted to go and she asked if I'd go, and I was like, sure. And then she got mad at me for, she was talking to one of the vendors, very attractive woman who owns her own company making custom jewelry. And Just absolutely fantastic. And she, you know, they were talking, and then I kind of did my own thing for while they were talking. But then I came over because I was like, what's taking so long? And I started talking, and she's like, and she's telling me, she's like, you're very interesting. Like you, like, if you weren't with her, I might actually be interested in going out with you. And I was like, well, the good news is I'm not with her in that respect. And she looked confused, and she's like, what? And I said, yeah. And then luckily my friend said, yeah, no, we're just friends. And she's like, really? And then she started talking about how she was going to be in town for a couple of more days, and how she comes back to Denver on a regular basis because she has a warehouse here that she works with. That is where she stores her stuff. And I'm sitting there like, yeah, you know, I'm more than happy to, you know, see you when you're in town or whatever. I mean, we're getting along really well. Keep that in mind. And she goes, and then my friend's like, well, I'm done. We can move around the rest of the show now. So we walked away, and she's just like, I can't believe you were flirting with her right in front of me. That's very rude. I'm like, I don't see how it's rude. You and I are not together. Like, we've been over this numerous times because you keep trying to blur that line. And I keep having to remind you we are not together. So, sorry, I'm trying to see if there's something that'll work out some of that rattling noise. So yeah, she got all upset all of a sudden for me, like, just even entertaining hanging out with a new female friend, much less actually asking her out. And I'm like, whatever. This is why I don't hang out with you, because you're getting this way, and it's very annoying. Like, I can do whatever I want. Woo! That's burning my thighs. Because, or I can do whatever I want because I'm single. And then she got all upset with me about that too, so. And again, I know she likes me, but I've made it very clear to her on numerous occasions that it is not reciprocated. So yeah. But I was like, really, like, I would have gladly gone out with that woman. She was absolutely gorgeous. She had a nice accent. I couldn't even pretend to tell you where the accent was from. But yeah, and she owned her own business, and her work was very classy and feminine, which I appreciate because I hate gaudy. Sorry, it's a little uphill, and I'm still not in any pedal assist modes. Whew. So yeah, it was a little frustrating yesterday. And then we got back to my place, and she's like, oh, well, can I come in? And I'm like, I guess. And then she plopped down on my bed and just like laid there, and she's like, well, what do you want to watch, like TV or something? And I'm like, you need to leave at like 7:30. It was like 5 o'clock. I'm like, you need to leave at 7:30. We'll watch a movie, and then you got to go. And even then, she hemmed and hawed, but she was out by 7:45. But I'm like, yeah, not interested in any of this drama. The only reason I hung out with her at all was because she lost her job. Most of her, I'm using air quotes here, friends were co-workers. Like, those are the only people she ever talked about were her coworkers. She never talked about any other friends or anybody else she knew, just her coworkers. So I was like, okay. And then she kept saying like the dumbest things. And yeah, I don't know if you guys remember the other day, I said, yeah, you know, what I'm looking for is is someone who's intelligent, who can have conversations, like intelligent conversations, like who knows what you're talking about without having to stop and explain everything all the time. Like she was driving, and we were going somewhere besides the show. I wanted to run a quick errand. And I'm like, yeah, go over here to the exit. Get on the interstate going north. Well, we come up to the exit, and she's like, oh my God, which exit do I take? And I'm like, you take the one going north. She goes, well, which one's that? And I was like, there are signs in front of you. That one says north, that one says south. Which one do you think it is to go north? Like, just stupid stuff like that. And I'm like, yeah, this is why there's no way in hell you and I could be together. Because I'm like, she can't think. She can't think beyond immediate needs. Like, that's it. And it's not like a survival immediate needs, like I need to eat, I need to shower, I need to change clothes. It's like she can't think beyond what she's doing at any given moment. Which is, like I said, very frustrating for me. Because I'm always thinking about stuff. Like, deep thoughts. Like, I told her some stuff that I was like, oh yeah, I was thinking about this the other day. And she's like, oh my God. Like, I've never even thought, like, considered anything like that. Like, how do you even come up with these thoughts? And I'm like, this is just me letting my mind wander while I'm in traffic. I mean, I don't understand how deep this is. Like, it's not that deep. It's just there. But we made it through the day. She left. And then she texted me today. And then she texted me again. Then she texted me again, and I'm like, and I'm only replying like every couple hours. Like doing that whole, how was your day? What'd you do? What's going on? Blah, blah, blah. Did you get this done? Did you get this done? You said you needed to do this. Did you get it done? I'm like, yeah, you don't need to be checking up on my day. So yeah, I told her I had to go, because I did. The girl that I helped get a piece of furniture for her new place the other day, she texted me yesterday afternoon, or late yesterday evening, not evening, but 6 o'clock, 6:30, somewhere on there, saying, hey, you left a couple of things in my car, I need you to come get them. I was like, I thought we got everything out of your car. Because we had to empty everything from my truck into her car so that I could fit her stupid couch in my truck. I was like, I thought we got everything. She goes, no, you have a couple shirts here. I'm like, okay. A couple of shirts don't take up that much space, even my shirts. She's like, yeah, but I don't want them in my car. They're taking up too much space. Okay. So she's like, you need to come get them before noon tomorrow. So after the gym this morning, I had some breakfast and I had to go down and pick those up from her. I'm like, really? This was so important that I had to make a special trip 15 miles out of my way because you couldn't put them like under the seat or off into the corner of the back, or take them inside your place and set them to the side? Like, really? And I was ready to tell her, we don't need to hang out anymore. But she actually is intelligent. Like I met up with her. We had a good conversation about just random stuff. And she's telling me all about this new place she's moving into. Apparently she has a guy friend that found out that she was, in order to save money, she was staying on a friend's couch. And then just using her office space as a place to go when she gets out away from her friend, when she has to be out of her friend's house. Well, this guy that she knows found out that she was doing that and said, no, let's rent you an apartment. So apparently he went out and rented her an apartment. Like, got her a 6-month lease, paid it all in advance. And she's like, yeah, he's my sugar daddy. He does stuff like this once in a while. And I'm like, so I was kind of teasing her. I was like, so what do you got to do for this? And she goes, nothing. He never asked me for anything. I'm like, dude's renting you an apartment for 6 months. Even, let's say, for the sake of argument, even if it's $1,000 a month, that's $6,000, and you're not doing anything. And she goes, nope. Okay. Oops. So I'd be going faster, but there's so many of these swarms of these gnats and bugs. I got one in my eye. It like flew around my sunglasses or got caught up in the airflow around my sunglasses and landed in my eye. So that's all I feel in my right eye. And I have a gazillion of them in my hair and on my shirt and stuff. Very fun. Whew. Good news is I'm still in pedal assist 0, so getting some exercise. But when I was at that show yesterday, I did buy a couple of lamps and a decorative piece for when I move into a new place, which I'm gonna go look at a place tomorrow. And then I pulled up a place that I actually used to live in, that I sort of enjoyed living in, and their rents were very reasonable. I mean, comparatively. When I lived there, I paid like $750 a month for a 1-bedroom. That was 20 years ago. Now their 1-bedrooms are $1,400 a month, so it like literally doubled. But I like the location. The buildings were solid. They were built in the 60s or something, so they're solid buildings. And they're basic apartments. A rectangle room where one corner is the kitchen. The rest of it is do as you please. A square room for a bed, and then a bathroom, and that's it. No fancy architectural nothings or whatever. But I like the location. It's kind of right near, if you're familiar with Colorado, where I-25 and I-225 meet, right in that area. So a couple of my concerns are walkability. There is a park across the street, and then there's a shopping center, kind of catty corner. Now, it doesn't have a supermarket or anything, but it does have like restaurants, sports bar, which I don't really watch sports, that's not a big deal, but sometimes you just want to go out. A few stores, things like that. Oops. I don't know what that noise was. Something in my ear. But then, oh, pardon me. Yeah, and they had great views. So I looked, and their website was actually really nice. It showed you which buildings and which units were available. Like you could literally click on, I want this building, this unit on this floor. They did have some top floor units, and they do have elevators, so that's not an issue. And one of them actually faced west, so the balcony would literally look at the mountains, which is nice. But it would also look over that strip mall. I like, when I used to live there, I had a north-facing balcony, and the balcony looked over the skyline of the city of Denver. Now, it was off in the distance, but it was there. So I could, and I didn't sit out on the balcony that much when I lived there. I usually sat on the couch in the living room just with the balcony door open. So, but I like the fact that the park is across the street. Because I can't tell you how many times I ran around that park when I was younger and straight out of the army and healthier. Sorry, I'm still in pedal assist 0. Whew. But yeah, so I used to go used to take my dog running around that park. And apparently, looking at their websites, they added some amenities. So apparently now they have like a pool and workout rooms and things like that. Because the gym I belong to, there isn't one near it. It would literally be like 5 miles in one direction and like 8 miles in another direction for me to get to my gym, which isn't that big of a deal. I would prefer something where I could either ride the bicycle to or walk to, but it is what it is. So I'm gonna go look at a place somebody was telling me about that's actually in Littleton, which is a little further west than I wanted to be, but we'll see what the amenities are and everything. I mean, if it's an apartment complex that's just full of bored strippers, who am I to say no? Whew. Yeah, again, I'm still in no pedal assist mode. Whew. This is what I mean. It was going to get a little darker once the sun got behind the clouds. And it got a little darker once the sun got around behind the clouds. So yeah. So I won't be going, needless to say, I won't be going for a ride tomorrow morning. Probably do something like this again. Wait until about 5:30, 6 o'clock and go. This bike does have I forget how many watts it is, but it does have a robust LED light up front. So, oh, bug just got in my mouth. Gotta pull this back up. So yeah, we can. I haven't ridden it at night, so I don't know how well the lights up everything. And then and I'm super tired today because I went to bed fairly early last night. I think it was like 9:30 or something when I laid down, and I was out, poof, done. And then I woke up at 1:20 this morning to the guy upstairs. Sounded like he was dropping bowling balls. It's so annoying. I have video recording of it. I don't know if I'll probably upload it at some point, but I'm not going to upload it as like a cut in here because I still have videos from last week that I got to stitch together, and I haven't sat down to do that because that's how important that's not to me. So, and then he finally stopped, so I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. Went back to sleep. And I wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning to a guy that lives in my building screaming at his dog out in the front parking lot. So what this guy is he's got a bicycle, and he built a little trailer off his bicycle for his dog. Now his dog's a decent sized dog. It's a mix, but it's like the size of a small German Shepherd, not a tiny one. His dog's probably somewhere around 75 pounds. How's it going? Oh, hey, puppy. Yeah, he had a dog strapped to his chest, like a baby carrier thing. But yeah, his dog's probably, maybe not 75, maybe 60 pounds. And he's always got the dog in this little trailer thing that he tows, which is fine. But he's constantly yelling at the dog, like just constantly. Every time you see him, whether he's coming in and out of the building, whether he's in the parking lot, whether he's on the street, whatever he's doing, he's constantly yelling at his dog. Get in there, shut up, stop it, be quiet, stop it, stop barking, shut up. Oops, apparently this is closed. So, lakes will be closed November 1st to March 15th. It is not November 1st or March 15th, so not entirely sure why it's closed. I'm pretty sure the other side's probably open, which means closing this side doesn't actually do anything, but we'll see when we get over there, won't we? So yeah, but he was screaming at his dog, which woke me up. And then anybody who's been around dogs for 5 seconds knows that you can't scream at them when they're excited, because all it does is encourage them to be more excited. That's why you have to remain calm around dogs, especially if they are excited. You have to stay calm. Hello, puppies. So his dog was barking. He started yelling at the dog, which just got the dog more excited. And the dog started doing more barking, etc. And it was a big... And then somebody... I know the voice. I can't remember the girl's name. It's like Alexandria. Or I think she goes by Alexi or Lexi or something. I've met her a couple times. She offered me a joint once, and I was like, I'm sorry, I don't smoke. And that was the last time she ever spoke to me. But because I don't smoke. I'm like, I just don't. I heard her voice talking to the dude. Now, I wasn't paying attention to what she was saying, but I heard her voice, and I was like, I think she was probably telling him to, like, okay, can you calm your dog down, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, so, needless to say, I didn't get great sleep last night. So I'm hoping that tonight I'll go to bed, especially after this, burn off any remaining sugars in my system. I'm hoping to go to bed and sleep pretty well tonight. Because today I was just dragging butt. Like, I'm glad the only thing that I really had to do today was go pick up those couple of t-shirts and a pair of sweatpants. And the thing is, these clothes that she had in her car, the clothes that were in my truck, are donation clothes. Like, I really didn't care to get them back. Like, they were in my truck so I could donate them. There's an organization here, it's part of the VA, but it works, it's got its own office, but it works primarily with homeless veterans. And I got the clothes out because I was going to donate them to like kind of like just throw them in a pile and say, hey, if you want these clothes, you can have them to the building I'm in. Because again, low income building, I've seen people wear the same clothes for like 3 or 4 days in a row because they just don't have 2 pairs of clothes, or they don't have more than 1 pair of clothes. Oh, there's people out there hanging out on the rocks. That's cool. That's a new noise. That's awesome. So yeah, but I've talked to the building staff a couple of times about leaving the clothes there, because it's like the clothes that I'm donating are like flannels, a couple of t-shirts that are just too small for me, a couple of polos that are just too small for me. Like, with all the working out I've done, I can't fit in them anymore. Light jackets. Think like something as thin as a thick hoodie, but still buttons up the middle and stuff, as opposed to having a hoodie. But yeah. But the building, never gave me a straight answer about where I could donate it, if they even wanted it, etc. So I'm like, oh, I'll just go donate it to the veterans, because I'm a veteran, and if I can get it directly to them without going through an intermediary like Goodwill or something, then I'd rather do that. So this office that works exclusively with homeless veterans, they actually have a clothing rack there that they'll put up. They'll just have like random clothes there, and like, yeah, take whatever you need, And they have like a box full of rolls of socks, and they're like, yeah, if you need socks, take socks. If you need underwear, here's underwear in different sizes. Usually the socks and underwear are new. But so here's where, if that gate hadn't been closed, here's where I would come out. There are a couple of trucks here, so I'm assuming it's still open on this side. Another truck's pulling up right now. So unless that other truck is here to shut the gate, I'm actually going to put it in pedal assist so I can go up this incline. Nope. It's not an official truck of any sort. So again, not 100% sure why that gate was closed down there. Let's see. Oops, sorry. Whew. And when we get back on the trail there, I'll tell you about going to the Harley dealership. That was a testament of my ability to keep my cool. Yeah, see, wide open. Gate's not closed. Gates will be locked at sunset. Well, we still got an hour or so before sunset. And I don't know if it's like the gates will lock at the end of sunset or at the beginning of sunset or pitch black. Like, I don't know how it works if it's on but yeah, like there's nothing that should have stopped me from being able to take that trail over here. So I don't know why that was locked. But yeah, so every once in a while, I fantasize about, a new truck or another motorcycle, and I would like another motorcycle. And if I can find a unicorn, I'm ready to buy. Absolutely ready to buy. But I have to find that unicorn. So what's a unicorn? Unicorn is that thing that you just don't see. It shows up out of the blue. It's there and then it's gone. Like, if you don't grab it, you're just going to lose it. It's the right make, the right model, the right year, the right, acceptable or good mileage. Maybe it has some augmentations already. Maybe the previous owner added some accessories or something. That's what I call unicorns. So, like, for example, there's a motorcycle that I would like to buy, but it's in North Carolina. I can't just, I mean, under other circumstances I could, but one of the conditions of me living in this building right now, oop, there's a horse, living in this building, because it's low, it's low income, is that I can't be gone more than a night at a time. Oh, there's a few horses. How's it going? Doing okay. Sorry, I said, how are you? And he said, good, how are you? So that's why I was like, I'm doing okay. Yeah, that's Colorado though. You're going to see horses. Yeah, I mean, it's a 20-year-old bike, don't get me wrong. But it's only $2,000. And the engine, this particular one has not high miles, it's got like 23,000 miles on it. So basically 1,000 miles for the life, every year on this bike. They're asking $2,000 for it. And the engine, I know for a fact, will hit over 100,000 miles without any problems. And I'm like, damn, I'd love to be able to fly out, buy it, and ride it back real quick, but one of the conditions of me living in this building is that I won't be gone for more than one night at a time. It has to do with like the deal that I got moving in there, because they're like, yeah, if you're gone too much, we'd rather just rent it to somebody who's going to be here, type of thing, because they're going to pay more. So yeah, but I found a bike. It wasn't it wasn't my ideal bike, but it was something that I would have ridden. Hey puppy, what's up? Hi. It's a bike that I would have ridden. Harley Davidson V-Rod, if anybody remembers those. It's like the Harley Davidson cruiser sport bike thing. Body by Harley, engine by Porsche. So, really cool, right? They had one over there. It was an 03, so again, 20 years old. See if I can get one of those bugs out of my throat. And they were only asking $4,000 for it. So I'm like, oh, a Harley Davidson for $4,000? Porsche engine? Yeah, I'll get that, The Harley guys may make fun of me or whatever, but I don't care because I'm not tribal like that. I don't care. So we're going to go clockwise instead of counterclockwise this time, just because. But yeah, so I ended up, so I'm already at, I think, about 9 miles. But, so I was sick last week, which you guys you've heard me cough a couple times still today. So it's still a little bit of coughing, a little bit of stuffy nose, but every day is just slightly better. I'm looking forward to the day when I wake up and, there's no remnants of stuffy nose, there's no remnants of congestion. But because I couldn't go see it last week, I went on Saturday to see it. And I get there, this Harley dealership is right off the interstate. You can see it from the interstate. It's closer to the interstate than either one of these power line towers in front of me. So I get off on that exit and I pull over and I'm like, okay, how do you get there? There are no signs or anything that say this way to Harley. So I drive down, I wasn't paying attention, and I'll own this. I wasn't paying attention to how far from the exit road it was. So I'm like, all right, there's got to be a sign or something up here somewhere that says, to buy a Harley, come this way, or Harley riders this way, or something like that. Nothing. So I turn, knowing full well I have to turn at some point to get to where I'm going. So I turn thinking, maybe I just need to get to the frontage road. Maybe that's how I access it. Fast forward, I turn. It dead ends. So I have to go through a parking lot or turn around. So I decide to go through the parking lot. Well, then the parking lot, it's Saturday. There's guys up there resealing the parking lot. So I'm driving through there resealing, and I feel a little bad, but I'm also pissed that, a business that wants my money doesn't make it easy for me to get there. So I end up driving around a bunch of buildings. I find the frontage road. Hey, it's not on the frontage road. Apparently it's half a block off the frontage road, but you can't see it until you drive back out to this other road. It's the whole big conundrum, pain in the butt thing. And I was like, yeah. So I got there and I was already annoyed. And then they were having some kind of barbecue thing, which is fine. I know Harley dealerships do that. They want all the Harley guys to come ride up and grab a burger and get a bikini bike wash and listen to some music and maybe buy a new bike or buy a hat or buy an accessory or something. I get it. Especially since Harley riders really don't go that far. Now, some of you are going to go like, oh, no, my brother, my cousin, my sister, my aunt, my uncle, whatever, rides his Harley for thousands of miles every week. Cool. But the vast majority of Harley riders just go around from Harley shop to Harley shop where they go on poker runs and they call it a day. That's it. Like, I've literally had 1,000-mile days on my bike. And this, so yeah, I was really kind of annoyed. I get there, I look through, they have all the used bikes outside, and obviously it's used, it's 20 years old. So I walk around the used bikes, can't find it. I'm like, okay, that's weird, but sure. Oops. Hey, puppy. So I'm like, okay. So I go inside, walk around thinking, it's a V-Rod. Maybe they left it inside because it's different enough to draw people's attention. It's not your typical Harley. Nope, can't find it. Okay. So I go back outside, walk through again, can't find it. Go back inside, and this time one of the sales guys flags me down, and he goes, hey. He goes, you all right? And I said, well, I was on your website, and I saw this V-Rod for sale. I was looking for it, and I can't find it. Is there another showroom? Is there somewhere else I need to be looking? Waiting for him to say, oh, yeah, it's back with maintenance. It's back being tuned. It's back, getting an oil change or whatever. He goes, oh, yeah, no, we sold that yesterday. And I was like, seriously? And he goes, yeah. And I was like, oh, well, then I don't need to be here. And I turned around and left. Because, I was just that annoyed. I was ready to walk away from it altogether with how frustratingly difficult they made finding this Harley dealership be. And the thing is, there was a Denny's on the corner. If I had pulled into the Denny's, and instead of pulled into the Denny's, if I had turned and driven past the entrance and gone around to the backside of the Denny's, the Harley dealership would have been right there. But there's nothing that indicates, this way to the Harley dealership. I'm like, yeah, if you're not going to make it easy for me to give you money, I'm not going to give you money. So, anywho, yeah, that was my experience with, and that's only the second time I've ever been to that dealership. The first time I had the same problem, but it was like 15 years ago. A friend of mine was a Harley guy. I think he used it more as a badge of honor. He thought it made him look better. I'm a Harley. I have a Harley. He actually used that as a pickup line. I was at bars with him when he would talk to girls and just be like, you'd look great on the back of my Harley. That was his go-to line. But he liked the big Road Kings or whatever they're called. I don't know what they're called. And he was riding to work one morning, and he was one of these, I don't need a helmet because helmets are for wusses guys. Well, he got hit by a car on his way to work, had to be medevaced to the nearest hospital, so, he had brain damage, he had facial reconstructive surgery, he had bone grafts, He was in a coma for like 2 weeks, blah, blah, blah. And when he had recovered, he was like, I want to go look at a new bike. And I'm a huge fan of facing your fears, getting back on the horse. So I was like, yeah, sure, I'll go meet you over there and walk through and look at bikes with you. So I happened to get there before him when I went to meet him there. This is my turnaround point today. And it looks like the sun may peek back out before it gets to the clouds. Or before it gets to the mountains, sorry. Out from under the clouds before it goes behind the mountains. That's what I meant. I knew what I meant. Oh, here comes the bikes coming this way. But so I get there before him, and I park and I go in. And the guy's like, you coming to buy a bike today? And I was like, no. Actually, a friend of mine is. He wants to look at a bike that you have for sale. And they're like, where's your friend? And I was like, he's on his way. And I said, but you need to convince him to buy a helmet. I said, he was just in a year and a half ago, he was in a really bad wreck, brain damage, bone reconstruction, facial reconstruction, etc. You need to convince him that he needs a helmet. He goes, that absolutely can do that. So my friend walks in, and he's 10 years older than me, but I'm older than he is. I'm older now than he was then. So that just kind of gives you an idea of how long ago this was. I was wondering where those bikes were, because they were coming up to the street right as I was, there's one, right as I was turning around. I was like, they shouldn't have been that far behind me. And the other one's way far behind me. Dang. So the guy, my friend comes in, and the salesman, I look at the salesman, I get his attention, I was like, that's him. The salesman goes over, and my friend goes, yeah, I'm here to see XYZ bike, whatever it was, I don't remember. Because let's face it, Harleys aren't really that memorable. And the salesman, true to, he did. He said, well, let's look at helmets. Let's make sure we look at helmets too, because every rider needs a helmet. And my friend goes, nah, I don't need a helmet. And the sales guy goes, okay. Walks right past the helmets and takes him and shows him a bike. Now, he ended up not buying that particular bike. It wasn't exactly what he wanted, but still. Now this guy's passing, getting ready to pass me. There we go. Oh. Not a guy, a girl. But, yeah, so he ended up buying another bike a little bit later, but he became very much a fair weather rider. He rode, but he would only ride on the weekends or holidays. He would only ride if there was not a single cloud in the sky, which, to be fair, that happens a lot in Colorado. And he would only ride in the middle of the day. He would not be out at this time of day. He wouldn't ride to work anymore. He wouldn't ride. He used to ride to bars, have a few beers, and ride home. He wouldn't do that anymore, which is good. I don't drink when I'm on the bike. Even when I go out riding with other people, I won't drink while I'm on the bike. Because a lot of people have a beer with lunch, or, have a... I wonder if I can go that way. They're not doing construction today, or now. So I wonder if I can go over there and ride on the dirt. We're going to find out. So yeah, I don't see any overt ways into the little construction zone there. Let's see what happens. We'll come over here. If I don't see anything, we'll turn around, because, well, I still have some sunlight left. I don't want to have to do too much in the dark. Yeah. Oh, here we go. This will work. I think they're going to put houses or something back here, because, Colorado has never heard of a piece of grass they didn't want to pave over. So yeah, there we go. We'll just do this. Yeah, he became what we call a fair weather rider. He refused to try to do anything, which I get. He was still apprehensive. The problem was he still talked a big game, but he would, he liked to brag about having a Harley. He still liked to tell people he had a Harley, but he didn't like to ride the Harley anymore. Oh, this is very soft. I don't know how much of this I'm gonna be able to do. I thought this was gonna be all hard packed because, you know, Colorado. This is all soft sand. The good news is these giant ass tires are eating this up like there's no tomorrow. But yeah, woo! I'm gonna fall down and break my ass. It's fine. But yeah. And he still rode without a helmet. The guy knew firsthand what it was like to be hit by a car while you're not wearing a helmet. And he still refused to ride a helmet because it wasn't Harley cool. I'm like, dude, who cares? Be alive. That's your first goal. No. Harley riders don't wear helmets. Only you stupid sport riders wear helmets. And I'm like, yeah, you know what? And we get up and walk away from our wrecks. We don't get airlifted to hospitals. I mean, it happens sometimes, but not often. I was on a ride one time. I was in jeans. I think just a simple pair of, I'll say boots, but more like Timberlands. Not riding boots by any stretch of the imagination, but, you know, boots. Hiking boots, maybe. I had a textile jacket with the body armor in just the right places. Gloves and a helmet. Textile gloves and a dot helmet. And a dot and Schnell helmet. Sorry, I think I got a bug in my throat again. We were on a ride, and we'd periodically, you know, the ride leaders would periodically, you know, stop, pull over on the side of a road, especially at a turn, and just wait for everybody to catch up because, you know, we always encourage, ride your own ride. Don't try to keep up with anybody if you can't. Ride your own ride. That was a huge mantra with the group that I rode with. And now we're gonna pull over here. Definitely likes this hard packed dirt more than the sand, but it ate through the sand like hot knife through butter, which was nice. So, yeah. You know, we're waiting. You know, we pull over. We're waiting. You know, we notice we're one missing. So we're like, what the heck? So somebody turns around to go ride back a few miles and look for the guy we're missing. Make sure. Oh, pardon me. I got the hiccups all over. Make sure if there was if he went down, you know, somebody was there. If he got lost, somebody was there. Although there was no way he could get lost at this point. There was only one road and it only went one way. So they come up a few minutes later, and it's like, "What happened to you?" And the guy who didn't keep up with the rest of us, he's like, "Oh, I took the corner too hard and I ended up crashing." It's like, "Holy shit, dude, are you okay?" He goes, "Yeah, I'm fine. I slid off the road into the side, into the grass. Got up, dusted myself off, picked the bike up. It took a few minutes for me to get it started, but yeah, we're good." We're like, "You're okay? Like, you know, no breaks or scrapes or abrasions, anything?" He's like, "Nope." He goes, "It's the power of leather." And I was like, "Yes, it is." So I went out and bought leather. Now, leather jacket, leather gloves, leather boots. I still rode in jeans a lot because they don't make leather pants for my fat ass. Or leather motorcycle pants anyway. They probably make leather chaps for my fat ass, but that's also something that's not going to happen. So yeah. But this guy wouldn't wear, you know, he was one of those, I don't need to wear gear guys because it's not cool. And I'm like, yeah, nope. I'm walking away from any wrecks. I'm not playing this cool guy. I mean, when I would host rides, and when I mean host, is we get online and you could host a ride. Jump on the group website and you say, hey, I'm hosting a ride. It's going to be this level, newbie, intermediary, or fast. I almost never did fast rides because I'm not trying to prove anything. I like to go fast. I like to have fun, but I'm not about treating roads, especially 2-lane mountain roads, as my own personal racetrack. So, that's the woman I passed earlier. She was going this way while I was going the other way. She didn't even look over at me when I waved at her. But she looked Hispanic. There's a very good chance she didn't speak English. And sometimes people who don't speak English or don't speak the native language won't engage with native speakers because they don't want to be embarrassed, or they don't want to have the communications problems, or they don't want to, in this day and age when ICE is grabbing up everybody with a tan and the Supreme Court is saying, yeah, we're allowed to, or the Trump administration is allowed to racially profile people. It's, I can completely understand not wanting to talk to strangers, especially when you don't speak if you don't have a good grasp of the local language. So, a lot of people out though, that's nice. Raise this up. I'm starting to get some bugs. Yeah, there was actually a truck I wanted to go look at today too. Tried to go look at it yesterday because Colorado has blue sky laws, which means you can't buy a vehicle on Sundays. So a lot of times people will go look on Sundays. Yeah, see that parking area there still open. I mean, granted, it's not dusk yet or sundown, but still. But yeah, got to the little car dealership, and it's just one of those little independently owned Bob's Cars type place. And pardon me. And we get there, we drive over, get there, and sure enough, the lot's closed. But the lot was closed. A lot of the lots, you can at least walk in. Walk around, check out vehicles, look through windows, look at sticker prices, blah, 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 without being harassed by salespeople. So I just wanted to go look. I wanted to look at it, see if they had pictures of it, but I wanted to see for myself if there was any overt damage, anything that said, hey, this was in a wreck or whatever, because the price was good, like really good, like unicorn good. But it had like a 8-foot high fence, and the gate was like 8 feet high, so I was not about to jump that. So then I was like, well, maybe I'll go tomorrow and take a look at it. But like I said earlier, I was just so tired all day. I was not motivated to do anything. And then, pardon me, still got stuff in my throat. And hiccups, apparently. So I decided to, I was like, well, there's a fairly good chance that they're closed on Monday too, because a lot of dealerships will close on Sundays by law, and then Mondays as well, because they want to give their employees 2 days off in a row. So I was like, maybe Tuesday, maybe tomorrow I'll go take a look at it. So this lady in the bright pink was down on like this little island in the river with a couple other people earlier. Now, I think it was the two people that I passed with fishing poles. So I don't know why she's going this way and they were going the other way. Oops. But, you know, maybe she wanted to get her steps in. I don't know. So maybe I'll go look at it tomorrow. It's 10, 12 years old. Pre-COVID, it would be cheaper than it is now, but it's a good, reliable truck. It has a shell on the back, just a bed shell, not a camper shell or anything, which makes it look like a long SUV. It's got reasonable mileage for the year of the vehicle, and it seemed, in the pictures anyway, to be in decent shape. Now, you can't test the shocks from pictures. You can't look at the bumper and see if it's bent or deformed in any way, shape, or form to see if it was rear-ended. Same thing with the front. You can't get under it and do that and all that with pictures. So, yeah. Whew. Sorry. I'm trying to breathe, and I still got a little bit of hiccups for some reason. And I still, I keep catching bugs, and they're like in the back of my throat. It's really annoying. I keep wanting to cough. But then hiccups hit me. Yeah. Welcome to my world. But I did meet a guy in the building today. He's new. He's actually an employee. But we were talking about bike riding and stuff, and he's like, "Oh, what kind of bike do you have?" And I told him, and he looked it up real quick, and he's like, "Oh, I have one of these." Now, it's a smaller bike, smaller motor, but he said he loves it. And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Yeah, let me know one of these days. I'll bring my bike to work, and we'll go for a ride or something." I was like, "Yeah, that's fine." So we'll see if that happens. I mean, he's probably 20 years younger than me. He might have been 30. He was super excited about going bike riding. He looked up this bike online. He's like, "Oh." I was like, "Yeah, it works. Aside from the creaking and the occasional noises, I actually really don't have any problems with it." Oh, there goes the A line from downtown Denver to the airport. So that's where it's going. It's heading towards the airport, where it will end, gather more people, turn around and come back. And that's the nice train. The city trains are not as nice as that one. That one's nice. That one's like we want to show off a visitor's train. Like, the seats are nice, the inside's clean. I think it's a little wider probably because it feels less cramped. Yeah, that's definitely the show-off train. Woo. I'm still wearing sunglasses, and I still see fine, so it's not even dark enough to practice with the light, which is kind of frustrating because I'd like to see how bright it is. So I'm hoping once I get closer to the place I'm staying that I can turn on the light and get some light. I think this is the woman that was coming out of the trees earlier. I don't know if she's homeless or she just likes to be out here, which is fine. I mean, again, Colorado's an active people. But yeah. Whoops. We're not too far from anything because looks like some warehouse buildings right here. And there was a parking lot back there she could be parked at. But, for all intents and purposes, this is relatively isolated. So if you're out here for a walk or a run, somebody could pop up out of the tall grass to the left or right, tackle you before you even knew it. And, you know, you can see there's not a whole... I was about to say there's not a whole lot of people around here, but then this dude decided to come up on my left. So... And I've been averaging between 12 and 13 miles per hour. I'm not in a hurry right now. I have nothing to do between now and bed, so this is just me not sitting around and watching TV. Oh, so I still don't know why I got the hiccups. I was just licking my lips and got a bug, so that's awesome. One of these underpasses had a couple of homeless people hanging out when I came through earlier. I don't know if they're still there or not. I don't remember which bridge it was. But yeah. Whew. But yeah, it's 6:45. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, and nothing super exciting going on in the last couple of days. I mean, I told you about all the exciting stuff, but I hadn't been sleeping well for the last week because of this stupid cold. You know, waking up in the middle of the night because your nose is stuffy and you can't breathe, or waking up in the middle of the night because you have a coughing fit. And then last night it was just the upstairs guy and the guy with a dog, and I'm dog friendly. I mean, I'll be the first person to make every excuse in the world for a dog, but it's kind of annoying when the guy's like just letting his dog do his own thing and yelling and then yelling at it. Excuse me. Thank you. I don't know how to say excuse me in Spanish. So, I should probably learn that. I mean, I know how... that little prairie dog did not give a crap about me. He was just sitting there. Is it this one? Nope, not this one either. With the people under it. And hiccups. And I can feel bugs in my hair. Like the wind died down just enough coming out from under that bridge that I can actually feel the bugs crawling around in my hair. Because again, I keep going through these clouds of bugs. I think today was the hot day of the week. Tomorrow's supposed to be about 10 degrees cooler. And then Wednesday, surprisingly cool. It's not even going to get out of the 60s. Like, I might have to put jeans on. I mean, I say that like, you know, some big thing. I wore jeans yesterday. Because I hadn't worn anything except athletic shoes all summer long. Athletic shoes are flip-flops. And Friday night, so where I'm staying, not too far away is a country bar. I'm not a fan of country music, by and large. I mean, some of the poppy stuff is okay. I'm not a fan of... I can't country dance, can't line dance, can't two-step, can't do any of that. But I was like, you know what, I'm kind of feeling sociable. Maybe I'll go to the country bar and have a drink. Because as far as I can tell, it's the closest bar to where I am staying. Well, fast forward. Like, the night is going so slow, like super slow. I'm freaking out because, like, every time I look at the clock, it's only 10 minutes have passed, and I'm like, I don't want to go there before 10. But finally, somewhere around like 9:30, I just sit down for a minute because I'd been walking around doing things, blah blah blah. I just sit down for a minute in a comfortable chair, lean back, and poof, I was out. So apparently, I was too tired to go out Friday night, but I had gotten my country boots out, my Western boots, and I was dressed to go out. I was like, yeah, I'll go out, see what happens. You know, let's test this theory that girls are actually flirting with me, that kind of thing. Because I talk to people all the time. I talk to women all the time. And for me, it's just talking. Like, we're just chatting. We're just BSing, you know, bantering a little bit if we're having a good time. So I don't know if I'm like if women are actually like being attracted to me, or they're just looking at me and saying, you know what? You know, he's only a 4.5, but, you know, at least he's not a jerk, or at least he's not a racist, or trying to be an alpha male, or whatever, you know, some of those things that women just absolutely hate. So, you know, they're like, yeah, you know, I'll give him a chance because he doesn't come off as a jerk. Or as one woman told me, you have good vibes. Whatever the hell that means. So, yeah, I was ready to go put it to the test. Because, you know, like, when you go shopping, when you go to the mall, or you go to a store or whatever, and you're talking to the salesperson, or you're talking to the cashier, they're, you know, waitress, bartender, whatever, their job is to get money from you. So they're going to flirt with you. That's why whenever you go to like a men's clothing store, a lot of times they have pretty girls working there. Because they want to butter you up and sell you stuff. A lot of times waitresses and bartenders, the female bartenders anyway, are you know, pretty girls. Because they want your money, they want a tip, and you know, there is a thing called pretty privilege, and, you know, being attractive opens up doors. It really does. I feel sorry for some of you, because you don't know what that's like. But yeah. I wasn't always ugly. That's my point. I used to be quite attractive. So, and now I got the body of somebody who really should be rich if he wanted to meet women. Because they certainly are not coming after me for my money or my body. So I don't know. Like I said, I wanted to kind of test it out. Go out where nobody feels obligated to flirt with me just because they think I'm going to buy something from them, or obligated to flirt with me because, you know, we happen to be standing in line together or whatever. I just wanted to see what would happen. And then I fell asleep because I was tired all week. And I'm tired today. So I'm really, really hoping. Well, the sun's at the top of the mountains right now, so it's going to get real dark here in a little bit. I'm still wearing sunglasses though, and I still see fine, so it's not like terribly dark. Whew, lots of bugs though. Lots of bugs. Apparently dusk is the wrong time to do this. Whew. So, I'll talk about this for a second because I heard it on the radio this morning on the way to the gym. Apparently the two DJs or VJs or whatever they're called in radio these days, because they don't really disc jockey anything, they both went out separately this weekend. The male went out with his wife and some friends, or with his wife to dinner, at what he said is an upscale restaurant, but definitely not the best that Denver has to offer. And the female DJ said, or personality, however we want to put it, said she went out with her man, I can't remember if it's a boyfriend or a husband, and some friends, and they went out to a place too, and they both had different experiences, and they were talking about it on the radio. So she said that, holy crap, I can't remember her story. It was, oh, no, that was the dude story. So I'll just tell the dude story, because that's the only one apparently I can remember. Wow, the bugs are really bad right through here. Holy crap. But apparently, so he went out to dinner at a very nice restaurant here in Denver. Now, Denver has some world-class restaurants. He said it wasn't one of those, but it was definitely an upper-tier restaurant. So he went out to dinner, and he was with his wife, and I guess his daughter, stepdaughter, I think he said, which I don't know why people throw the step in there. I mean, yeah, it's either your daughter or you're not. It's either your son or you're not, or it's not. Don't throw the step in there. It creates that divide. Just say, my daughter, or our daughter, or whatever. Unless she doesn't want to be known as, he or she doesn't want to be known as your child. In which case, add the step. But whatever. He's like, yeah. He goes, so I asked the waiter, just kind of jokingly, I said, yeah, I think I'm probably going to end up ordering this, but I don't want the side that comes with it. I would like this other side. And the waiter, got caught off guard. Apparently had to go back and talk to the chef, and the chef said, no, we don't do substitutions. And the guy said he was just flabbergasted about that he could not substitute the side. He goes, my stepdaughter was ordering the same side that I wanted, so it's not like they would have had to have made anything else. They could have just made, two sides worth and given, and scooped out some on her plate and scooped out some on my plate. But apparently the chef said, no, that side doesn't go with this dish, blah, 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 which I get. Chefs are artists, for lack of a better way of saying it. And they want you to have an experience where, this goes with that. I get it. Now, most restaurants, consumer and family grade restaurants would let you swap out almost anything. Now, sometimes they'll charge you, but they usually let you swap out almost anything. So if you don't want this side, you tell them you want that side, and 9 times out of 10 they're fine with it. So the guy was just caught off guard that he was not allowed to do that. And I was like, yeah, I kind of get it, because I've seen enough. Girl I used to live with used to watch all the cooking shows. The chef challenges and the restaurant flipping and the whatever. The coming up with new dishes ideas, like the kind where you create a new dish and you get judged on it, blah blah blah. She used to watch all those, so I get it. Chefs, like real chefs, want you to have this this taste with that taste, because they complement each other, or they do this or that, whether or not you're into that particular taste. It's part of the whole experience. But yeah, so he said he ended up telling the waiter, he's like, fine, then I'll just order the hamburger and fries. And he goes, it was still an expensive hamburger because we're at a nice restaurant, but it was half the price of the other thing I was going to order. But when they said I couldn't swap out the sides, I was like, fine, then I won't spend as much money here. Which is fair. I mean, talk with your money. Or vote with your money. I do that all the time. Park County, Colorado. Up there around Fairplay. I got a speeding ticket once for being the only person, as far as the eye could see, in any direction on the road, a cop pulled out from behind like a tractor. He was parked there, you know, like old school boss hog style or whatever. And he got me doing like 20 over the speed limit on a bright summer sunny day in the middle of the summer, blue skies, no adverse weather whatsoever, and I was the only one on the road. He wrote me a ticket. And I was like, seriously, dude? Like, there was nobody there. Like, this is a victimless crime. There's nobody out here that I was. He's like, well, it's the law. It's the law. So it was still, it was a couple hours drive from where I was living, so I had to go up there for court. So I had to be up there at like 7 a.m. for court for this ticket. And then the judge was late. I was like, are you kidding? And the clerk's like, well, you know, the judge got caught, not in traffic because there's no traffic up there, but the judge had a problem getting in this morning, whatever. I was like, and when I got up there to the judge, I was like, I think I said something like, I'm so glad you were able to make it, Your Honor. Too bad you weren't on time like everybody else here. Like, we all respected you enough to show up on time. You couldn't give us the same courtesy. He was not happy. He fined me. I think it was like $80 plus court costs or whatever. And that was like probably 2010, so 15 years ago-ish. And I have, while I've been to Park County, I've been to Fairplay. I do not spend money there. I do not get gas there. I do not buy food there. I've been to some festivals and stuff up there. I do not buy anything from the vendors. I do not spend my money in that county. They will not get a dime from me. You know, because of an overzealous cop. And a disrespectful judge. And that's fine. I mean, I know, you know, my little bit of not spending money isn't going to make a huge difference. But, you know, they're not getting anything from me. Oops, sorry. The dude was balancing a couple of boxes. And I heard his feet go down to the pavement real quick. And I was like, what the heck's happening? Like, he was like stopping, using his feet instead of the brakes, which is fine if he's using his hands to balance the boxes. So I was trying to see what was happening. Like, was he dropping anything? What was going on? But he was literally pulling off onto the side. Oh, shoot, somebody threw one of those rental bikes off the bridge into the river. But yeah, he yeah, so I don't spend money there. And I've, you know, other places too, like that Harley dealership yesterday or Saturday. Oh my God, the bugs are so thick here. Holy crap. Same thing. Like, I was so mad just going there. Oops. Excuse me. I was so mad just going there and how difficult it was to get in there. And then, you know, there was a couple of Harley guys in the parking lot taking up space, so there were no I had to maneuver around them because they just stood there in order for me to even park my truck. And then the guy looked at me like, how dare you get this close to me and my bike? And I'm like, yeah, you guys aren't winning any awards here for welcoming anybody or wanting anybody to join your community. Like, there was bike parking at this place, and it was on the other side of the building. I happened to pull in to one side of the building where, oh, somebody over there too. But I guess they took all the construction stuff down. Actually, I'm going to pull over right up here where this fence is, because I'm going to, it's finally dark enough that I'm having trouble seeing out of the sunglasses, so I'm going to put the sunglasses somewhere so I can hopefully not lose them. Oh. But yeah, it's, but yeah, I was like, yeah, that's why I told the guy, I was like, well, if you don't have what I'm looking for and you made it annoying for me to be here, I don't feel the need to spend money here. And there's other places like that too that I won't shop at because of past experiences. Especially, and I love this one. I absolutely love it. When, what happened recently? Like, I went into somewhere recently. When I say recently, within the last few months. And I had, somebody came up to me and they asked if I needed help. And I said, no. Oh, man. Oh, man. Should have kept the sunglasses on. Because I just threw through some bugs and it hit my eyes pretty hard. Oh, that sucked. Oh, man, I think that bug's under my eyelid. Oh. But, like, I went in and it was at a restaurant. I went in there. I used to go in about once a week and get one of their lunch specials. They raised the price, prices went up, but it was still a good special. It was a burger and fries and a drink for like $10. And I used to go about once a week and get the burger, fries, and drink because I liked the burger. The fries were okay. They didn't give you enough, but they were okay. And the drink, free refills. Because, America, grr. And, oh my gosh, my turn's right over here, and I'm hoping to get away from some of these bugs. This is really frustrating. And I had such a horrible experience one time that I actually asked for the manager. The manager came out and she goes, "What's going on?" And I said, "I just want to let you know I had and I said it right in front of my server because I sat at the bar. And we're talking, the place opened at 11 and I walked in at 11:05. So it's not like she could say she was busy or anything. And I said, I come in here a couple times a month and get the lunch special. But I had such a horrible experience here this time that I don't think I'll be coming back." And instead of the manager saying, "Oh my gosh, what happened? Tell me more. Is there anything that I can do to reassure you that you will have a good experience in the future?" She just said, "Okay," and walked away. And I'm like, okay, so you really don't want my business, and I have not been back there. I can honestly say I have not been back to that restaurant chain, because it is a chain, except for when I was in Florida. I happened to be nearby that chain, and I went to it for lunch one day. Same thing. I happened to be driving by. It was about 11:30 in the morning, and I was like, you know what? Let me go get this burger. So yeah. And I haven't been back. Same thing. There's a restaurant in the town my friends live in, about 25 miles south of here. Oops, I'm on the wrong side of these tracks. Let me turn around because I don't think I'm gonna get over that. Went to a restaurant, and again, that didn't work. Needed more space. I needed same thing. They have this is kind of narrow, this restaurant down, but this other restaurant in this town my friends live in, it's a chain. They have a 3 for me special, if that narrows it down for you. And they were, see, it's not going to get dark enough for me to use the light before I get back. But at least I'm not feeling any more bugs. Holy crap. But they had this, so I ordered the 3 for me, which was a burger, fries, and a side. For $10.99 or whatever it was, which is, pretty good. It's actually cheaper than McDonald's at this point. Now, you do have to add a tip, but even then, it's often still cheaper than McDonald's. And I'm using McDonald's as the example because everybody in the world's eating at a McDonald's at least once. But yeah, but McDonald's is expensive these days. It used to be cheap food. Now it's like, special night out with the family food. So fast forward. Oops, kids playing. Yeah, never been through this park at this time of day, so this is all new for me. Kids over here playing soccer, but it is a heavily Hispanic community over here, so soccer is like favorite sport. But I went in at it was like 11:15, 11:10, something like that when I went in. Noticed I went to sit at the bar because I'm just by myself. There's no reason for a waiter or anything. So I go sit at the bar, and I notice the table or the bar is just covered in dust. The seats are all covered in dust. And I'm like, what the heck? Did they not clean this place? So I get my food, blah, blah, blah. I eat it. And then the waitress comes back at the end before she hands me the self-pay thing, because I don't know what waitresses do anymore. And she goes, is there anything else? How was your experience? And I said, well, the food was okay. I mean, it was on par with what I expected. However, I have a problem with the amount of dust and dirt and everything that's right here. It makes me wonder, like, where the customers sit, if it's this bad, how bad is it in the kitchen? Like, did I get food that was, caked in dust or anything? And she's like, ooh, let me go get the manager. Manager comes out, and he looks, I'm not gonna lie, he looked like a slob. He had the gut that his shirt couldn't hold in. It wasn't tucked in. It was wrinkled. He just did not look like he cared. And he came over and he's like, what's going on? And I said, well, I was explaining to her that, while the food and everything was okay, it was on par with what I expected. I was really upset with the amount of dirt and dust everywhere. And I had to start wondering if there was dirt and dust in my food because, the dirt and dust is everywhere. He goes, oh no, well, they probably cleaned the rafters last night and knocked all the dust down. And I'm like, okay, well, you're the manager. Did you stop to think like, hey, maybe we should clean this up before we open this morning? Like, did you not do a walkthrough, an inspection, and take a look at everything? He goes, what do you want me to do? And I said, I wanted you to be aware that, your restaurant looks like crap. And he goes, well, it was the cleaning crew. And he got up and walked away. And I'm like, really? It was the cleaning crew. That's your excuse. Not, you know what? I should own that. It's my responsibility to make sure the restaurant is up to snuff, blah, blah, blah. And I haven't been back to that restaurant. I left a very detailed review, got contacted by corporate who was like, yeah, we'd like to know more about your experience. And I just told him, I was like, I don't care. I'm just not going to come back. I'm not going to reward this manager, this restaurant, with my money for bad behavior. And they're like, oh, we hate to see you go. Is there anything we can do? And I'm like, no. I might go back to this restaurant in the future. Not this particular restaurant, but the chain. I might go back in the future, but it's not going to be today. It's not going to be tomorrow. It's not going to be next month. And sure enough, it was about 4 months before I went back to that restaurant, that chain. And even then, am I going to get up here? Even then, I pardon me. I didn't go back to that one in that town. I didn't go back to that one. So yeah, voting with your money is absolutely allowed. Nobody says you have to spend your money anywhere. Well, some people do, but you don't. So, anywho, I'm heading back. Like I said, about this point, I'm about a mile and a half away from where I'm staying, and I don't want you guys following me home. So I'm going to go ahead and cut you off. Thanks for coming along. Sorry I yabbered so much, but it's actually nice for me to talk while I ride because it helps me work out some issues in my head. And we'll probably do something similar to this tomorrow, but I'll probably go south, even though there's still bugs that way. At least the bugs aren't, well, hopefully they're not as bad. So, I have to cross this bridge, but I'm just coming over here while I'm still talking to you. I'm going to turn around here in a second so I can get across this bridge. But I've never been over here, so let's take a look. Commuter Rail Maintenance Facility. Yeah, this is where the local rail station. Okay, so looks like people did try to camp under here, under the bridge. Oh, wow. Ooh, where does this go? This is cool. I don't know if I'm allowed to do. I can't imagine why I'm not allowed to do this. I don't see anything that says private road, do you? Interesting. Yeah, never been over here. Alright, I'm going to cut this off. You guys don't need to watch this part because I'm just kind of looking at stuff. And, yeah, we will do this again maybe tomorrow. And then hopefully get back to morning stuff, at least as long as it's, you know, still warm enough to do morning stuff. Because I think eventually going to have to do afternoon stuff. This doesn't go through or around or anything. Okay. There's really no reason for me to come over here. Alright. I was kind of hoping maybe there was like a secret through trail, even if it was a walking trail. But there's not. Alright, cool. Thanks for coming along. We will catch up with you again later.